continued, I'm just going to continue this. It's the third time Childers, a former medical secretary and unpublished author who says she's really Margaret Ann Windsor and heir to the British throne, has been bumped from federal lands in 3 years. Well, my father really is King Edward VIII, who was illegally dethroned, so they call this here. He was never married to Wallace Simpson. He was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe, and a 99-year seal put on my birth, which included the addendum to the forced abdication, and they put a 99-year seal on it to cover up my kidnapping, who I am. I was born, the minute I was born, Victoria II. My father then would have had to come back into place as, to make decisions for me. So my own Uncle George and the Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy was ambassador then, were part of the kidnapping. Brought me to Moulton, Alabama, and gave me the name of a twin. Both twins were dead. They were born out of wedlock. Lina Dempsey, the mother, it was a pigsty. Horrible. She had killed the twins, and the mother, Lina's mother, had sworn the other children to secrecy because she would have faced the death penalty. So I found out anyway, and most everybody knows it now, but I started writing about mind control, and I didn't, at that time, remember being kidnapped. And I wouldn't have known what to do with it had I remembered. I guess it's a good thing I didn't, with them calling me Crazy Margaret, right? So I'm going to keep on with Larry Flynn endorsed me, and I was writing about mind control, and he was shot, was one of them that was shot in the prison program. A bigger problem, I just put up a couple of videos here, is Childers' claims is a government conspiracy to keep her homeless and cloak her true identity. Well, yeah. A lot of torture going on in it, too. That's what Larry Flint was attempting to write about, and he was shot. Well, Childers said of the Hustler magazine publisher shot and paralyzed during the 1978 obscenity trial in Lawrenceville. The evolution from candidate to park interloper, living off food stamps, and that when I was lucky enough to get, oh gosh, you don't even see, with a tent. Well, sometimes I didn't have a tent. I was just freezing. And clothesline in a hiker's shelter. Isn't a surprise to those familiar with the strange Cobb-based congressional race a decade ago. In fact, Childers quickly stood out from the usual field that included candidate campaigning to return the country to the gold standard, another emphasizing prohibition, and at least two others far from the mainstream. Flint wrote a glowing editorial praising Childers and kicked in 1,000 contribution. Childers, former congressional use, alleged former, I don't get that, in a slander American citizen, I don't know what that is, something that made Widow Kathy, who was McDonald, also a candidate. Well, I don't know what meant there. She came in second. His wife, she ran to replace him. She was charged, I don't know if she's locked up, I can't remember, a few years before running a prostitution racket there in Atlanta. How's that? But I want to go to this one. This one says little pink circles accent the apples on my of her cheekbones. I was freezing to death and starving right in front of everybody. Nobody wanted to get involved. The sun and the cold had chipped away at a complexion already marked by age. Oh, thank you. The deep wrinkles on her forehead looked like the contour map hikers might use to wander to her makeshift home. Childers' face is familiar around the shelter of Full Heart Knob on the Appalachian Trail near Travel. For at least 10 years she has returned there to live on and off, only to be shooed away Wow, that's what you call it? Once authorities find her, that she's back. When verbal warnings don't keep children from living in the forest, the U.S. Forest Service officials brought her to federal court at least 4 times since 1991. Let me remind you, I mentioned this. Bob Goodlatte, U.S. House of Representatives, um, at that time was over the agriculture and the forestry. So he's over the rangers. And I was in his office, and John Edwards, who's the Virginia state senator, many times in John Edwards and several times in Goodlatte's. He's now over the Intelligence Committee, I believe, some very important ones. He's known about me. Last time I walked out of his office, somebody came out, and I waited in the elevator for him to get on, out of his office, came and said, if he helps you, he's going to be living out in the woods and the forest with you. So he's doing pretty good right now. I'm not. You might think she's drawn to the shelter, rustic shelter. Rustic had rats and spiders and snakes in it, woo-wee, because of a love for the outdoors. Not so. I hate it here. It's cold, Childers said, still thinking about the hell she went through during a brutal ice storm in March, and the wind howled and frozen rain pelted down on her tent. She nearly died when she tried to get down the trail to town, she says. After braving the storm, she returned to the shelter for one simple reason: I have nowhere else to go. She stayed at the Roanoke Mission for a short time, a few years, but was asked to leave when she began upsetting residents with her tales of government conspiracy. Well, actually, it was the book that someone read at the time, and Puppets on the String that Jack Hartsfield, the reporter FBI agent, gave to me. There are options available for social, so they're implying that you're mentally ill if there's a conspiracy going on, or you write about it, or the federal government screwed you up and everybody else, so you're mentally ill. There are options available through social service and mental health clinic, says Pat Egan, who I don't know who in the heck Pat Egan is, a district ranger for Glenwood and Peddler Ranger District at Natural Bridge. I know Eric Smith. Somebody ought to put him up on the stand in Woody. She didn't accept that. She doesn't accept that she needs help. Egan and rangers will probably need to arrest Childers again if they spot her at Full Heart Knob, but finding her isn't always easy because they don't patrol the Appalachian Trail. Well, now then it cuts off for some reason down there. I got it cut off. Who set up a residence in the forest? Forest rangers aren't, and others who maintain the Appalachian Trail worry. Are you kidding me? This is so sick, all of it. For children's safety, all they had to do is give me a place to live, let me work, like give me some rights, okay? It's totally lies. Worry about me, oh, they didn't. Saying bad weather, rattlesnakes, and things could hurt her. We're really afraid we're going to find her dead, and we don't want oh, the heck, they didn't, Egan said. Federal authorities have struggled to piece together details of Childers' past and still aren't sure how she ended up living in the wilds of Western Virginia. They traced her arrival in Roanoke in 1986. I want to read this. There are options available through social services and mental health clinics. She doesn't accept that she needs help. District Ranger Pat Egan, Glenwood and Peddler Ranger, Natural Bridge. You know, there's been so much done and crimes committed, and I can't get an attorney. I can't sue. But God help me, I hope one day that somebody's able to take these people to court. Some of them are dead. So that would leave God. And you know that's the only one that can prosecute this, because this is, you don't see behind the scenes any part of this. The flip side of it is I'm a very brave lady. I told the truth. It all happened to me. And I'm going to try to finish whatever I can. It's going off now. But I said they say down here that about my father, Edward VIII, and that I'm saying that Georgia O'Keeffe is my aunt. I mean, well, she is my aunt. She's my mother's sister, Claudia, who married Edward VIII, my dad.